Hi y'all. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you're new to the channel, welcome. We're just changing the channel up right now, but we hope that you'll love the video enough that you'll want to subscribe and hit that bell to be notified of any future videos that we have coming up. And if you're returning, welcome. You know how much I love you. You mean so much to me. Your comments and helping to grow this channel just means the world to me, especially at this holiday time. So thank you so very much. Today we're going to be decorating a Christmas tree, and I was late getting it, and so I only got the kind of pine that drops needles everywhere, so it's going to be messy. I have never done a tree like this. You'll find out one of my family traditions and you'll figure out why I've never done a tree like this, but let's see how this goes. I may end up with the Charlie Brown kind of Christmas tree. With all that being said, let's get right into it and find out some of my favorite Christmas holidays. And I will have you know that I have one that I think you'll really like. So, roll the film.
Me, take the time to dig deep underneath this red heat. We could really meet.
So I did write a couple of notes that I may be looking at to remind me of how we're going to do this. I have it all in my mind. We'll see how it turns out. But I'm going to do certain parts of the tree while I'm talking. And then while I finish up that part of the tree, we'll switch over to some beautiful scenery of Pagosa Springs, Colorado area during the winter. So let's get this tree set up. Christmas is one of my favorite times of year, and we have several family traditions that we kind of do, and I'm adding some new ones all the time. The new ones I added this year, I have one grandchild that's 3 and another one on the way, so certain things that I was doing for my kids, I've kind of switched over to grandkids. And now, not just for December or Christmas, but for other months like Valentine's Day, Thanksgiving, those kinds of things, I'm sending per household a package with some type of an activity and the little vinyl stickers you put on the wall. So I sent to my grandson some Christmassy decals to go on his window. I sent him a gingerbread house making kit, and I also sent him an advent calendar. I want an advent calendar for each kid and them to be able to do some type of crafty thing that I always love doing. I had my grandson 3 days a week that I babysat him before, and we did all kinds of fun activities. So I figure if I can send it to the families, maybe they'll find the time to do it with their kids. Anyway, let's get the tree into the stand. It takes a lot of water. One more. Okay. So I have probably only had 1 or 2 live Christmas trees in my life. And honestly, I was going to get a white artificial tree for this, but yeah, they were all out. Like, there was no artificial trees left. Small town woes. But let's cut this apart and see what we have to work with. Yeah. Can't decorate like this. starting to look like a Christmas tree. We may have a video yet. Wow, oh my gosh. Look at all those needles. Yes, I did research because I was getting a live tree and they said, don't buy this kind. There's too many needles. That is one of the traditions. I'm going to start some new traditions now that we live here. And one of those traditions, as soon as people are living up here full time with me, is to go out every year and cut our own Christmas tree. Much more economical. And I used to feel bad about that kind of thing, but I don't really anymore. Because after being a firefighter for years, I know that we do need to thin out some of our trees. And then there are also places that make their livelihood just by growing trees for Christmas. So I am going to go for live trees in the new house. Hopefully not a Douglas fir. I think that's what this was. How's it looking? You can see better than I can. Oh, it looks like a Christmas tree a little bit at least. I think I better sweep all this up before we get started. But I think it's now to where I can decorate it, right? Looks okay. I'm gonna still sparse some stuff in areas, but we can work with this. We can work with this. All right, let me get this stuff cleaned up. Holy guacamole. Look at all that. Okay, good enough for now. So I remember growing up and at both of my different grandma's houses, they had a metallic tree. So they were metallic, they had the little branches that you stuck in the holes. And then what made it so beautiful is they had a color wheel light that was down at the bottom, and it had like 4 different colors on the color wheel, and it would turn around and it would change the tree, all pretty different colors. So are any of you old enough that you remember those trees? I do miss them. All right, let's get this tree skirt on. I thought this was so pretty. What kind of tree do you do at your house? Step 1, accomplished. All right, lights. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about is food, because food obviously around the holidays is something that we all love to do. And I have some interesting stories about the foods we have, but the first one is we always made at my grandma Stone's house peanut brittle. And the thing that made it so fun was that we made it, and of course grandma made it mostly because you have to get it up to a really high temperature for the candy and everything, but she let us help. And then we pour it into the pans and we take it out in the snow. And then the snow would make it go cold fast and have us be able to break it up and munch on it. Another tradition we have, which is really funny how it got started, and Mom, forgive me if I tell the stories wrong. I'm giving you guys the stories to the best of my recollection, but I've learned now that I have adult children that how I remember things and how they remember things are not always the same. But my grandma told me the story that my mom wanted something special for Christmas Eve. And so they went to the store and she found some oysters. And she says, "Oh, Mom, what are these?" And long story short, they bought the oysters and came home and found like an old not a family recipe, but something that comes from our heritage. And they started making oyster stew. So our family has oyster stew every Christmas Eve. It's really rich, so we usually just have a cup and then have other things to eat, but that's one of our fun food traditions. And then a few years ago, when we were living in Arizona, I decided rather than do a traditional ham or turkey, that we would do a Cajun Christmas. And it went over so well that we've retained that tradition. And every Christmas we get crab, lobster, and we used to get shrimp, but not as many people eat that. So crab and lobster mostly. And then do a big Cajun kind of a theme with the seafood for our Christmas Day dinner. So what do you guys eat on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day? Let me know. Of course, we always have the pies and all the cookies and all that kind of stuff. All right, next we need to put lights on this thing. So let's get that started. I'm not sure, I have not done lights. All the artificial trees I buy on purpose that are pre-lit. So we'll see. I got 2 strands of these beautiful purple. We're actually doing purple and silver on this tree. And we'll see how it turns out. Okay, not bad. Okay, let's get the purple ones out.
Well, somehow I lost the footage of me doing the ornaments and the ribbons. So I'm going to do a voiceover while you look at some of the beautiful scenes of the winter in Pagosa Springs, Colorado. Might be better anyway because that room was so big and echoey. So we talked about food. Let's talk about activities. One of the activities that my family always did was going sledding, and then we always had cocoa. Then after the day of sledding, we would build a bonfire and sing around it, or we'd go home and sing. My family was all very musical, playing mandolins and guitars and all kinds of things. So we had lots of fun singing and even had our own family Christmas, well, it wasn't just for Christmas, but our family song album. One of the things I told you that I had an exciting tradition to let you know that I haven't really heard of anyone else doing. This started when I was a little girl, where my grandmother would always give us a Christmas Eve gift, because as a child, you know, you're so excited for Christmas morning that you want to open something up. And so she always had a Christmas Eve gift that we would open up, and that would be a pair of pajamas. So I've kind of expanded on that, and now I'm doing it for the grandkids, but I did it for my children growing up. On Christmas Eve, they received 3 different gifts. One was the pajamas, just like my grandma used to give to me. A second is a book, because I thought it would be really neat for them to have a book to read on Christmas Eve with their parents. And the third came about when I was going to college. And I got to college and we got our first Christmas tree and realized that we could pool money to get a tree, but really didn't have any money for ornaments or any decorations for the tree. Now we did just fine. We did popcorn and made our own ornaments and cranberries, so it was a beautiful tree. But it gave me the idea to give each of our grandkids and my kids growing up an ornament every single Christmas Eve that they would open and then put on the tree. Then after Christmas was over, they'd put their ornaments into a special box with their name on it. That way, when they left home to go to college or just to move away from home, they would have a box full of 18 ornaments that they had received from the years gone past at home. And when they decorate their first Christmas tree away from home, what a beautiful thing to have all those memories of all the years at Christmas at home.
It's time for the angel. How do you think we did? I think it looks pretty good. So let's put our angel on top and then finish our conversation. Isn't she pretty? Oh, I love her. She's stepping on my skirt. Okay. See, I try and dress nice for you. I can't even wear it right. Up over. Stay straight. You're beautiful. Ah, I love it. So did any of the traditions that I shared with you ring a bell with you, or things that you do with your family? Or did you pick up any new tradition that you might want to include next year, or maybe even this year if it's not too late? This video is going up pretty close to Christmas Eve, so hopefully you'll have a few days that you could implement them if you wanted to. Remember to write in the comments and let me know what your family does. Give me some ideas of new traditions. I think traditions old ones are meant to be kept and treasured, and new ones are meant to be made. So some of the ideas since moving to Pagosa Springs that I have for new ideas for Christmas traditions is, of course, to go skiing, because we have a ski resort so close. I definitely mentioned earlier, I want to start cutting our own tree, because I think that would be an amazing tradition. Horse sledding, they have some horse sleighs out here that would be a blast to do. And then they also have some dog sledding, and I think that would be so much fun. Now they have a beautiful train out here, so the Polar Express train would be a lot of fun to do. Of course, the hot springs, which you'll see some of the video from in this video, and even ice fishing. Our HOA has 4 lakes out here that they stock, and they allow you to ice fish. So they say the ice isn't quite deep enough yet, but it's getting really close. I hope that you have an amazing holiday season, no matter what you celebrate, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Christmas. I just think this is an amazing time of year to spend with family and friends and make new wonderful memories. So please remember to hit the thumbs up on this video. Since I've changed the format of the channel, it's going to take a little bit for YouTube algorithm to catch up and start recommending the videos. So your comments and your thumbs up and your subscriptions really help us to do that. I appreciate each and every one of you so very much. Have an amazing day, night, wherever you're at. Bye, y'all. Yay! You can see me better now.